Welcome to the Squad Show. I'm Sam Ekstrom. How close are we to the Purdy scenario coming to fruition?
I'm Luke Braun of Locked On Vikings. The Vikings are already ahead of where they were last week. They practiced.
What's happening? Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman. I'll be the one at Jim Irsay's auction bidding on Wilson, the volleyball from Castaway.
Hey, this is Arif Hasan with Wide Left. As soon as I logged into the call, they all asked me if I was sick. What's up with that?
Skol! It's the Viking Squad. Everything Minnesota Vikings every week. Breaking down all the big hits and game-changing plays from the land of 10,000 lakes. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. It's time to gear up. The Viking Squad Show starts now.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Vikings Squad Show on a Thursday. It's Lions Week. We're streaming live on the Locked On Vikings YouTube channel. Find our audio on the Locked On Vikings podcast feed. Find Luke Braun's Locked On Vikings show 5 days a week. It's great Vikings talk on the daily. We do this on Mondays. We do it on Thursdays. We do it after the games. So make sure you're subscribed to get the Vikings Squad Show every single time we do one. You met the Lukes. You met Arif. I'm Sam Ekstrom. Before the show is done, we've got trade possibilities before the deadline. We've got advantages and disadvantages against the Detroit Lions on Sunday. We've also got some forecasting about how J.J. McCarthy's next 10 games or what happens in the next 10 games could influence the future. All of that and more coming up on this episode, brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. I brought this up on the Wednesday Squad Show with Reggie Wilson, Julia Daniels, Ron Johnson, and I'm going to recycle it and bring it up here. There are some very interesting forks in the road over these next 10 games. You know, you've got a 10-game sample of J.J. McCarthy if he stays healthy. That will influence how this team is viewed in 2026, whether McCarthy is still viewed as an option in 2026. I think there's also the very juicy scenario of, like, what if he gets hurt, Max Brosmer comes in and balls out. But what scenario for you guys would be the most consternating, the most conflicting? Like, if this happens, it's going to throw the offseason into total
Mood's great in here today, huh?
And disarray.
We're feeling the hope.
I did a radio hit this morning in town, and after everything I said, they were like, "Whoa, Sam, lower in the mood today. What's going on?"
Goodness.
No one wants to listen to this.
Hey, this season's circling the drain. How can it get worse?
Well,
Right off the bat on that. It's 9 a.m. for me.
I've been on a couple of podcasts where they asked me, it's like Lions podcasts, where they're like, "Hey, what's the vibe in Minnesota?" And I was like, "Have you read any of the headlines published?"
Yeah.
That
is a great the vibe in Minnesota is not only is it way worse than we thought, we are also trying to brainstorm ways for it to even get worse.
That is how we will spend.
Minnesota.
We're taking our thumb,
Our first
putting it in
segment.
the wound, and just kind of pressing down.
At least that way you feel something.
So what's worse, Luke Inman? What's worse? Is it worse if McCarthy is straight up bad for 10 games, or if he's just mid, like mediocre? Because then you don't know. You're on the fence. You're in purgatory. If he's bad, that might actually inform your plans for the future a little more. And so what?
Maybe a little, but it's
still
such a small sample, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we talk about the Peyton Manning rookie year all the time, things like that. It's still too small of a sample. I think worst case scenario, you know, we're sitting here going on year 2. You got 8 quarters under your belt. That's it. You only got the 1 full week of practice at this point. I don't really care if he goes out there. I mean, I don't love it, but if he goes out there and puts up Ryan Leaf rookie year numbers, as long as he's on the field at this point, this dude just needs to prove that he can stay healthy for a long string of games. I think that's first and foremost. And the only way to get better at this point, which we've talked about ad nauseum, you got to start taking reps, being on the practice field and being on the field on Sundays. That's kind of the point I feel like we're getting close to. So worst case scenario would be, he gets hurt again for a long period of time. Max Brosmer comes in and balls out. Well, that's a good thing. That's fantastic. Take it anyway.
Max Brosmer balling out is the worst case. Are you kidding me?
What?
That's
a good quarterback on your
can you
one
imagine
good quarterback.
What if he's our Tony
one good
Romo?
Quarterback is better than no good quarterbacks, Arif, right?
Brock Purdy. So for reference, Purdy came in. He won 6 regular season games in a row, 2 playoff games, and then his shoulder came out of his socket in the NFC Championship game. But so what is the Let's not even say 8-0. What would Max Brosmer have to do for them to just scrap the plan and turn the keys over to the undrafted rookie?
We know
they would
that
just have to like him more, internally.
Yeah,
I don't think that there's you get in the game and you have to cross this threshold. They have to be internally convinced. No, this guy's a better quararterback, which is
right.
clearly not
when
the case.
Carson Wentz was 2-1, we were like, this guy's not real, right? The record doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, I think we're pretty well trained to see.
Yeah.
Fraudulent wins. I think we've got enough experience to know what.
But no, the reason Max Brosmer performing well is a problem is because we also don't know. Inman, you're saying another good quarterback is good, and I think if we knew that a good performance meant a good quarterback, then you're right. That would be better, right? But we don't know that. And that's the issue, right? Is that we have to figure out kind of not only how is he winning, but how much our priors matter, right? We know not just that he's an undrafted quarterback coming in, but that they were so unconfident in his ability to play early that they had someone run through a meat shredder against the Chargers rather than have him play for more than cleanup snaps.
The odds are he's probably not good. He's probably not going to pass the eye test that we're looking for to surpass JJ McCarthy. I mean,
what are the odds that in a couple of weeks, once John Wolford gets up to speed, he's the backup and Brosmer's back to the emergency third?
Pretty reasonably high.
Higher than it should be when you read the whole thing on paper.
Undrafted rookie who didn't really have the playbook down that well in preseason. This is chill. I think the worst case scenario is that either because he gets hurt again and we just don't get to see anything, or because he's, Nathan Peterman bad, you're going into the offseason going, I don't think that the guy's the guy. You got to just see something out of McCarthy to know that, okay, we're on some kind of path here. That can justify a couple of years of, okay, let's, really, look, you've had plenty of teams stick by their quarterbacks when they were bad. For a couple of years, you get just to see how it plays out. That's kind of the normal thing to do. And I think the worst case scenario is for him to fall below some threshold that is so bad and sustain it all year for all of those 10 games. That they're just this is Nathan Peterman.
I think the threshold for how bad he can be before the Vikings give up on him is really high, right? He'd have to be catastrophic.
They've burned a lot of stuff just to keep him on a path.
Right. And so I don't know that him being bad or mediocre is that much of a difference just in terms of how the Vikings will approach their decision-making at the position this offseason. I think in terms of ambiguity, the worst is if he plays well in this game and then gets hurt. That would be catastrophic.
A third injury
tough sell.
in 2 years when
and saw some flashes in there. You had that one quarter, fourth quarter, week one, and then put together a full
then we
game.
get to say, let's say he plays well 3 quarters, then you get to say, well, out of the 12 quarters,
right?
That would be such a tough sell. I do want to say about the 2 injuries, they are unrelated, and that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
They're related though in that he was scrambling on both of them and took hits, right? You have a quarterback that's going to move.
He wasn't. That's not.
And he
true.
needs.
It is true. Meniscus on a scramble. We don't know when he tore his meniscus.
I think it was on a scramble, but all right, go ahead.
I don't believe so. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but either way, injury proneness is usually going to be connected to stuff like Ryan Kelly getting a concussion, then getting another concussion. That's it. That's where, okay, we are now at a higher risk of future injuries, or Brian O'Neill now has problems in both knees. Now we are at risk of higher injuries. But when you have the meniscus thing, which is behind us. I mean, that is done. That is gone. That is in the past. And the high ankle sprain, done, gone, in the past. I would say that McCarthy has the same chance of being injured again as the chance any NFL player has to be injured at any given moment.
Right.
Not more, which is, I know it's a tough sell because he's missed a lot of games, but it's been 2 injuries. It's been bad luck. I'm sorry that people don't sometimes want to admit that sometimes you're just unlucky and that it's okay, but he's been unlucky. Not like
what does that do for the path?
It's not a skill.
If there is a third injury that shelves him for the year, and that too is unrelated. That too is unrelated.
It depends on the injury, right? Like so what I was going to say is that, like, in addition to repeat injuries of the same type, sometimes you get injuries that are part of the process of like recovery or whatever, right? So like you get an ankle
like Brian
injury.
O'Neill,
yeah. And so, like, very often, like, patellar tendon injuries lead to ankle injuries in the opposite leg, right? Like, okay, that's related. We got to be worried. But, like, if he separates his shoulder, right, which, like, knock on wood, hopefully doesn't, right? We can't. It'd be really difficult for me to be like, well, he's clearly got a problem.
He's just got weak shoulder. He was like never hurt before the NFL,
right? Yeah, which again, that's I've mentioned Matthew Stafford a couple of times in this context. That's exactly what happened to Matthew Stafford. He had a couple of unrelated injuries early in his career, was tagged with the injury-prone label, and then went like 8 years without an injury before the Rams covered up a death. Right? Like that's but he was pretty uninjured for the better part of a decade.
The Rams cloned him, and they were right to do it.
Yeah, and good on them. But yeah, so like him playing well and then getting injured would be the thing. I do want to like talk about some of the comments here where people are talking about like, he's playing behind this offensive line or they need to block for him. And like, yeah, the offensive line situation isn't like ideal, but it's also like not the worst in the NFL, nor is it anything that other quarterbacks haven't like overcome and had better performances than McCarthy has had. Like that, I do want to say that like he is taking kind of a normal amount of hits, even if the blocking doesn't seem all that ideal, which it isn't, right? But he's taking kind of like a normal amount of hits. I don't think that that's like a primary problem here in terms of what the offensive line is responsible for.
Let's also not pretend though that like some guys are just like their makeup is different, their DNA is different. They take hit after hit after hit, they keep popping up, and some guys just it's in their makeup regardless of how good a shape they're in, regardless of how like young and how young they are, how youthful they are.
How much do we know that versus how when guys that don't get hurt because of luck, we just say that about them? Like I don't know. How do we know that?
Like you're talking about guys like gutting it out.
You're gonna tell me that like Andrew Booth is just that unlucky that he just keeps
Andrew Booth clearly
had like a specific
problem. Multiple injury problems in the same area over time since high school. Like that is Andrew Booth has an injury prone history, but a lot of players with multiple injuries in their history are not any more likely to get. I mean, I think of
Kyle Rudolph a lot with this. Kyle Rudolph, who missed 8 games 3 years in a row early in his career, and he got the injury-prone tag, and then he just like Iron Manned it the rest of his career. Like sometimes these things just come in unlucky streaks,
Chad Greenway,
and we mistake streaks for patterns because that's what our lizard brains want to do.
Right? Yeah, and so when we see a player who takes a lot of hits and doesn't get injured, we might say, hey, there's something different about them. But like, if you assign a probability that someone gets injured to every player and run like 10 years of simulations on 1,000 players, a bunch of those guys will survive without any injuries. And so with no difference in their makeup. So like, I don't know that there's guys with like DNA where their ligaments are stronger and their bones are denser. I don't think that that's the case. I think some guys get lucky and some don't. And the lucky ones we say have like resiliency in their genes.
There was a bunch of study done on this, I remember, in 2022 because the Vikings were so healthy. They're like, is there something to this? And basically, like, nobody can ever find like a pattern that sustains at all. It's injuries or luck. They've always been luck. And when they come, a whole bunch of them in a row, unless you can point to a reason, like Andrew Booth's, like what was it called? Like the hyper growth knee thing.
Yeah.
Unless you can point to a reason, a thing that has happened, or a really bad like knee injury that is now just going to affect the way that they are forever. Unless you can point to a thing, there's really no like pattern to it. It just feels that way because I think for a lot of us, whatever happened most recently is what will happen forever. And that's what happened to McCarthy most recently. He was hurt, so I guess he'll be hurt forever, and that's like the thing that we all want to think about.
Wanted to clean this up too. Neither Braun nor I are correct or wrong on this. McCarthy still isn't sure when he injured the knee during the game against the Raiders. He said his adrenaline was flowing even after he left the game, didn't feel the injury until his knee buckled walking down the stairs the following day.
Sam Bradford
I remember
situation.
reading that and being like, come on, man.
Man.
This is ridiculous.
Let's turn the page specifically to the Lions and what advantages and disadvantages the Vikings face on Sunday on the Squad Show. Stick with us. Brought to you today by Prize Picks. I owe these guys a Prize Picks entry because I went negative in our betting contest.
That's right.
And yes, that will happen this weekend. But Prize Picks is the best way to do it because if you're following the NFL, the NBA, you've got opinions, you want to get paid for having the right opinion, Prize Picks is absolutely the place to be. Very simple. Put together an entry. 2 to 6 player stat projections. Take more, take less. Put together an entry in like 60 seconds, and boom, you can get paid. They also have a new stacks feature, which is a game changer. You can pick more on like Steph Curry's points, threes, and assists in the same lineup. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. All right, KOC's 1-5 against the Lions. Flores is 0-4 against the Lions. He's given up 30, 30, 31, 31 in those 4 games. Very consistent, very steady. Let's start positive. Let's have a little glass half full action here. What is an advantage the Vikings have in this game? Luke Inman, take it away.
Muted.
Find him.
Obligatory every single
Jar.
show, somebody, and then he froze.
Oh, God, that's
wait,
beautiful.
No, he's there. He's there.
Stopping.
Muted.
Okay.
We got him.
We are professional podcasters.
Yeah.
Remember that.
You
No,
held
well-
so still. I genuinely thought your internet cut out.
Yeah, no,
I
I
thought
thought
for
that-
sure you'd see my mouth move. What I was trying to get at was, is this a trick question? Is this going to be on the Wonderlic or something? Because you really got to squint to find something. The Vikings own the
Yeah.
all-time series record, 80 to 45 to 2. So there's
Do you
that.
remember the
Hang the
good
banner.
old days? What was the winning streak? 16, 17 games?
You
There
didn't
in
even
like
have to think. You woke up on a Sunday. You say,
Childress.
"Oh, we got Detroit."
Yeah.
You didn't even have to think about it.
yeah.
I mean, you say that, but also they did almost lose to the 0-16 Lions.
Thank you, Dan
It was
Orlovsky.
Interesting.
Yeah, thank you, Dan
Yeah.
Orlovsky. I was at that one.
Just to keep things
Me too.
interesting.
Oh, we probably
you
ran
know,
into each other, Braun.
The Lions
Perhaps. I was a
secondary, I know they're getting Brian
curly-headed
Branch
teenager.
back, but they're not always good at chunk plays, explosive plays, whether that's just bad coverage, a lot of pass interference calls this year too. So again, trying to squint here a little bit and find something, but between JJ and Addison and even Jalen Naylor, Hawkinson, you got some guys with speed that can get open, that can make plays downfield and exploit that matchup with the Lions secondary. I know they've allowed at least 120-plus yard pass play every time this season, every game this season. So there's an opportunity here to exploit that Lions secondary, just given the Vikings' weapons on paper. Will it happen? Obviously, you got to get a little run game going. You got to get some protection up front, and then you got to have JJ kind of sling it and let things loose a little bit. But there is a small opportunity there I see with the Lions secondary.
Yeah, you've got a healthy group of pass catchers against Amik Robertson, Rock Yassin, who I don't know what was the report on his health yesterday. Injury
He should
report
be fine to go, it sounds like.
in real time. Lions didn't practice yesterday, but
They projected
Rock
practice.
Yassin was not on the injury report.
Yeah,
So
he should be
I
fine to
think-
go.
Really, it projected a walkthrough coming off a bye.
yeah,
I don't-
they did
yeah.
not practice. Maybe they did some stuff on Monday, but I was gonna say if Rock Yassin, Nick Whiteside, who had like a killer debut actually against the Bucks, his first game ever, and Arthur Mollett,
Art
old
Millett.
journeyman, Art Millett. Those are their core 4 at corner. That's a gettable
Don't
secondary.
underestimate Art Millett. That dude's a ball hawk.
The Lions are just, I guess they just always do this. They're just finding ways to make the defense work with like a bunch of. This is what Matt Derry was telling me on the crossover. Like it's like no name defense, but they like work
in EPA per play on defense, and they don't have a secondary. Like
it's like there's no name recognition at all, but it's like happening.
But no, I was gonna say, the receiver group versus that secondary is probably where the advantage is. And I think given that Inman said that, I had to scramble to think of another one, but I actually don't have to think too hard. The Lions' interior offensive line is relatively new. It's young. It's struggling a little bit, especially relative to like the past couple of years. And the Vikings' interior defensive line is like pretty good and fun. Plug Wide Left Football. I just had a piece about Jalen Redmond go up about how awesome he's been. His strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that. Shout out Matt Fries, but. Jonathan Allen is playing well. You've got the ability to generate pressure up the middle through, the way that they blitz and stuff like that. I think the ability to generate interior pressure, especially in the passing game, is an advantage for the Vikings on the interior defensive line.
I might pull something reaching as hard as I'm going to reach here, but I was scraping, and I realized that the Lions don't have any tape on JJ McCarthy with Jordan Addison. It's total mystery.
Okay. Yeah,
they can't prep.
Or Christian Darrisaw. They
can't prep.
They don't have tape on how JJ McCarthy plays with Christian Darrisaw in the lineup.
You laugh.
The silver lining, none of our players have played yet. They don't have any tape of the last few weeks with all the starters in on defense because for some reason Brian Flores won't use them.
It was just a long con, this whole thing.
The whole thing. They're just setting up to beat the Lions.
For the Lions game.
They haven't won in Ford Field yet under Kevin O'Connell. They have lost 5 in a row to the Lions, and they haven't scored a touchdown in the first half since week 3, but they've held all their cards.
Yeah, I respect a 7-week long con, 8-week long con.
Yeah. Lost 3 out of 4, but it'll be worth it if you can get those divisional games.
When's the last time they've won in Ford Field?
Week 3, 22. Oh, no. In Ford Field?
Was 21, was that the infamous Cam Dantzler play, last play of the game? That was 21.
It let him out of 10-1. No, it was 2020, week 17. When
the meeting was where Chad Beebe had like a crazy touchdown to end the first half. And
the Chad Beebe offense game where Mike Zimmer wouldn't let Justin Jefferson go for the record.
Yeah.
Even when we win.
The rookie record.
Fun.
And that's why he didn't win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Kind of, actually.
Kind of, though. I mean, didn't play the first 2 weeks either, right?
That's wild. Crazy to think that in 2 of KOC's seasons, the Vikings lost a total of 7 games. 3 of those were to Detroit in those seasons. Even in the 2022 year, the Lions were not that good, but they turned it on late, remember? And I think the Lions were actually favored, even though they were like 5 or 6 games worse than the Vikings heading into that game.
There wasn't even coming off the Cowboys 40-3 debacle, so the vibes were bad.
Wasn't Jared Goff's first win in a Lions uniform against the Vikings? Like that, we got the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition phone call video.
Yep,
which was honestly like very heartwarming, but also very funny. But also,
it's our new Soldier Field.
Yeah,
we can't.
Yeah, we should talk about it like that.
Games.
We got to stop talking about Soldier Field and start talking about Ford Field.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But it's worse because in Soldier Field you would lose these like weird ones on a field goal. In Ford Field, they're just no show every time. They just show up and suck.
Yeah. Ron Johnson's coming in. He'll help us with the disadvantages the Vikings have against the Lions. They are numerous.
You definitely need help. Thank you.
And it probably includes that pass rusher who just signed a big whopping extension. We bring Ron Johnson in now. Talking Vikings-Lions. Ron, we just rattled through some advantages that we think the Vikings have against Detroit. Do you want to try to add to that list? It's kind of tough to find, but do you have anything in mind? Advantages.
I don't know what did you guys like? Did you talk about like red zone production or anything?
No, the
one advantage that I guess the one I'm like front of mind, because it's going to be on Vikings.com as well. So I just did the play breakdown for them. And so let me go to my plays. So when you look at the Lions in the red zone, right? They are second in sacks. Like they've which is not good for the Vikings, right? 7 sacks in the red zone.
This segment is about the advantages the Vikings have over the Lions. Right?
I'm trying to get there. But here's where teams have taken advantage of the Lions, and I think the Vikings can do this. So, Packers, Bengals, Ravens, Chiefs, 4 games I watched. Every time they got inside like the 20, 24-ish, because every play, like 3 or 4 of the plays, I'm like, pause it right there when the quarterback's foot is on the 23-yard line. So ball must have been similar spots, 14-yard line, 14-yard line, yard line. The Lions run a lot of man coverage. Last year, the Vikings were wide open on the first play, meaning if Sam Darnold at the time, if he throws the slant, throws the under, throws the corner, or throws the fade right away, it's a touchdown. They were double move plays, and so what ended up happening was the double move played to what the Lions did, which is we got crossed up, but you guys are still holding the ball, so we were able to recover. Packers got rid of the ball, 3rd and 9, TD to the tight end. Got rid of the ball within like 2 seconds because he read the safeties. They play the same look too. It's like a man underneath with a 2-high shell, and then both safeties kind of bracket and they come down and help where they think they need to help. Bengals, same thing. They motion to the right. Jamar Chase motions. Everybody's watching the motion guy. Backside T. Higgins, that cornerback backs off for some reason. He just takes the and this is Jake Browning. This is not even Joe Burrow. Just takes the easy throw. Hey, I'm gonna take this to T. Higgins. Run you and him one-on-one. I'm gonna just throw it. Ravens, same thing. They motioned. Everybody's watching the motion man. He comes back. He says, this safety's sitting here. Mark Andrews, run the corner. Rashad Bateman, you run the underneath. If they don't play it right, I'm going to take the corner. So I think there's an advantage there with the Vikings if Kevin O'Connell doesn't get tricky. Like if you know in the red zone, they're going to play a 2-high shell with man underneath. You have to, and the Chiefs got really stinky. They motioned 4 times to put 4 guys on the same side of the field. The Lions, it's ridiculous. Who puts 4 guys on one side of the field and still has routes for all 4? Like usually there's a decoy. All 4 guys were viable options. They ran a fade route with one guy. Pachenko ran the Texas route. Travis Kelce ran the over, and then the touchdown went to Braun. He ran an under, the shallow, and then backside. I don't know what the backside guy had, but like in man, all 3 guys watched Travis Kelce. And then at the end, the best thing is if you watch the end zone copy, you could see 21, Anzalone 34, and I think Branch, because that was the game Branch kind of lost his mind.
Right.
They're all looking at each other like, why the heck are you back here with me? Like they all like pointing fingers at each other, like it's the Spider-Man meme. Like, why are you back here? And they're all like looking at each other, and Braun is wide open, just running a shallow route. And Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw it right away. It's almost like he can't believe it. Like, wait, are you really? Like, is this a trick? Like, why is he wide open? And he throws it. So they run so much man down there that they get confused or they get crossed up. And so, and in the broadcast against the Packers, I mean, I don't know if you want to watch it, but they constantly break down the man. Like, they're man, cross release. They're in man, cross release. Because the Lions DBs consistently, somebody comes open, but you got to get the ball out of your hand and you got to block it up. So there is an advantage there. Like they run a ton of man in the red zone.
I'm concerned about this one because every one of the ones you described requires that the Vikings quarterback go through their progressions really quickly and maybe even hit a backside, which I'm not there with you, Ron.
Yeah.
I don't know that they got that.
So of the 3, so I will say the Mahomes one, it was top to bottom progression. He looked at Travis Kelce first, realized, wait, there's 3 guys back. It came down to Braun. That's why he didn't throw it to him right, because a lot of people are screaming, like, just throw the under. He's wide open. But
right, yeah,
he's not looking there right away. He looked up first and then down. The Lamar Jackson wasn't so much of a progression versus a front side read. He's just reading.
Like an alert.
He's just reading the front 2 guys. He knows he has a corner and like Zorro return with Rashad Bateman. So he's reading that. Like if that safety is over the top, he's going to throw it to Rashad Bateman. The safety stayed, so he threw the corner. The one that requires a little bit of reading was the Packers one. They ran seams with a post over the top. He kind of threw it. Jordan Love threw it in the window, but he did look at the motion guy first, running the wheel route to make the safety stay, and then he knew he could come back to that seam. You're right. There's a little bit of reading required to this. I hope while Carson Wentz's labrum was falling off, they were trying to help JJ McCarthy understand like how to read these like here's the play, here's the read, quick. Here's the play, here's the read, quick. Just watch the safety. They make it look like it's not 2 because the safeties are on different levels. Like one safety's high, one safety's low, but it's still 2 because at the snap he just kind of like in his red zone, so he doesn't have to like really be in 2. He kind of gradually just backs up, and it's still like a 2 shell, even though they're not on the same level.
And it gets that safety involved in the run game.
And it gets the safety involved in the run game. And so that's the thing. He can feel it quick, but he gets stuck staring at the quarterback in the backfield. Now, I will say, of the games I watched, the Packers, not Joe Burrow, though, or not Browning, but the Ravens and the Chiefs, we do know those are 3 quarterbacks that can actually run too. So maybe that's why they kind of did that with the safeties. I don't know, but I will say it requires some reading. But I feel like with Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Adam Thielen, and Jalen Naylor, if they go man, there's an advantage there. But you're right. The quarterback has to read it.
Ron, we're going to sneak a break in. Stay with us. And on the other side, going to ask him how the Vikings contain Aiden Hutchinson. Coming up. Brought to you today by Mazda. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride with more IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than anyone else. You can feel the Japanese craftsmanship in every detail. It's the metallic accents. It's the Napa leather upholstery, which is so comfortable. Everyday drives, they just feel smoother with the intuitive controls of a Mazda. All-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV. Drive with confidence through almost any season. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. All right, Ron, this is where I'm shaking in my boots because against the Steelers, high-level pass rusher J.J. Watt had a huge game, and you had Darisaw in that game. You had O'Neal in that game. I think that was an O'Neal game. And Watt just went off. And now you face Aiden Hutchinson. You didn't have to deal with Aiden at all last year. He was hurt. Didn't face him in either game. Now you have to face him. Your tackles have bad knees, not 100%. Josh Oliver has an ankle. He's out. CJ Ham wasn't practicing. He might be out. What are you going to do to contain this behemoth for Detroit?
I'm going to take things that they can't do for 200, Alex. Like, you can't contain them. I mean, honestly, you can't. You have to go away from them. So you do. Like, you either have to go away from him or you have to hit. You have to, like, allow him to be hit. So with that, when I say that, like, let him rush up the field knowing you have a chipper. Or if you're a tackle, wide, like on your drop back, wide release, and we know Christian Darisaw does a pretty good job, knowing that you have guard help. You can't, I mean, other than Darisaw, that's the only person I could see, like, you want to leave him man-to-man on. But, yeah, like, Aiden Hutchinson, like, against the Chiefs, he had, like, 2 guys on him and still stripped the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. So he's like, I can't get to the sack. Let me just reach out and knock the ball out of his hand. Like, he's been doing that. So it's one of those things where, as a rookie, you have to always identify where Hutchinson is, and then you have to identify what the Lions are doing, because they'll walk down a guy late and blitz just to get a 5-man pressure. So I like in the run game, for instance, run the power to him, like push everybody to him, but know that you're not going to push him back. You're just going to make him let him go where he's going. So it's I forgot what it's called when you run that way, but like they should just say, like, if the tackle's going to, or sorry, if the end's running up, take him up. If he goes in, take him in, and the running back has to read it, which I think is zone read. Yeah. So just, you got to read it. Like, you can't maneuver and move him. You have to read him. And so, again, it's a little bit more work. I don't know if we have the quarterback and running backs to do it. I think Aaron Jones get it done. Mason, I don't feel like he's more of I don't know if he's a read guy. I think he's more of a power guy. I don't know if you can't stop Aiden Hutchinson. Like, you can't. So you have to get tricky with how you handle it. But like I said, all those passes I talked about, though, were all quick. Like, they didn't allow Hutchinson to get to him. So it's not like you can hold the ball for, like, you can't run double moves with Aiden Hutchinson. You have to get the ball out of your hands quick and be okay with a 4-yard gain, be okay with a 7-yard gain, knowing I'm just trying to get down to the red zone, matriculate down the field. Like, that's what these teams did. Nobody was trying to really go for the home run. They were like, look, let's matriculate down the field and then let's go score. That's what you have to do. And I think Kevin O'Connell just has to be patient. Like, I'm not saying he's not, but I feel like a lot of times he gets really impatient and wants the big play.
Sorry, Luke, I'm going to jump in before you go,
Go
on
ahead.
that, because on Aiden Hutchinson, a lot of teams have done exactly that, where they basically angle every zone run away from Aiden Hutchinson, knowing that there will be a cutback lane, because Hutchinson likes to come up field a lot and likes to really try to rush that, especially if you have like any bootleg action, he'll like come up and try to take out the quarterback, right? So there are always these like cutback lanes, and that's exactly what they tried to do against TJ Watt a lot, and it did lead to some of the better offensive plays they had in that game, was just kind of letting TJ Watt be so tenacious that he runs himself out of the play.
Over aggressive. Yeah. Yeah, and by the way, TJ Watt had a great game, but the following week, they shut down Myles Garrett pretty good.
Yeah, they did.
So there is a blueprint there. Ron, how nasty is this Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch kind of duo they got at safety, when both are healthy? And, I guess how does McCarthy and KOC make sure those two specifically don't punish you, but you're still pushing the ball downfield?
Well, if you have a post-game conversation with Brian Branch, you got to bob and weave. Like, you don't just go up to him for the handshake. You bob and weave, because Juju Smith-Schuster thought it was a game, and Brian Branch is playing no games. He is not out here for the games. No, they're really good, and the reason is because of what you said about the front seven. Like, that front seven is really good, and that allows them to kind of not have to cover for 37 seconds. I mean, that's the key to this. Like, their pass rush, their nastiness, it's the Detroit blue collar, knee cap biting, ankle kicking, hit you late. It's a dirty game. Like literally right before I came on here, I had an hour sit down with Jordan Hicks, and Jordan Hicks and I were talking about that, about defenses and, how that mindset of a defender. And, I even asked him about playing through injury and that mindset, because, he tried to come back quick after his shin injury. And I was like, Carson Wentz went through the same thing right now. Like, and fans are saying the coaches are at fault. And so he kind of walked me through that. There's so much to the mindset of that, like the defenders and how they play. It's the Detroit, they embed all that in themselves. Like guys are hurt, they want to get out there. Guys are injured, they want to get out there. Like, they want to play for Dan Campbell. So with Kirby Joseph and Branch, the one thing I keep noticing is when they go man, you cannot throw to who they're bracketing, because they're trying to take two guys away. It's the old Patriots way. You play man, and two of the safeties come down and take away your weapons. That's what they're doing. So whoever they walk down and take away from you, go to the other guy. But again, back to Arif's point, you have to be able to read that, and you have to read it fast. Like, you have to see, right? Like, if you watch Jordan Love, I hate to say it, it's masterful the way he watches both safeties.
Gross.
And then
disgusting.
Log off.
And then he heaves one up in the back foot, and it somehow works out. Yeah,
exactly.
Right, yeah.
But like he somehow but Patrick Mahomes did the same thing. He was watching both safeties, and wherever they went, he went the other way. Lamar Jackson, he was watching both. Like, you can see their eyes. Like, I did the back angle and I did the sideline. You can see their head angle tilt, and they're just looking at the safety, and boom, then they come back and they make the throw. Like, because they know the play, they know where they want to go. But I got to make sure I know who they're taking away when I get and all four plays. And I know, and there's more than that, but most of the stuff was identifiers, which is the motion. So the motion was the identifier to get an idea of what they're doing. So you identify, then you have the idea, and then you play. And again, Kevin O'Connell, we talked about the shifts and motions years ago with Kirk Cousins, right? He was giving that to Kirk Cousins to help him out, make Kirk Cousins really good. I haven't seen a lot of shift in emotion in this year to like impact. It felt like just like window dressing. Do it for impact. If nobody goes with them, change the play. Like, don't just motion and then still run the same play. And that's where I think, and I hate to say it, Jordan Love does that. He motioned his running back out, motioned him back in. He changed the play, and then he did it. And then he motioned him again, and then ran a different play. And it was a touchdown. That's the little things that come with like a quarterback being able to move fast. But yeah, like honestly, I'm excited I don't know what's going to happen. It might be a blowout, but I'm excited to see that side of it, because did Kevin O'Connell learn from the last time he visited the red zone against, I think it was 3 for 11 or something like that in the red zone against the Lions last time. So did he learn? Did he realize like these guys are wide open on the first throw? Like, maybe just get rid of the ball. So
you keep saying stuff that like worries me about the Vikings quarterbacks, right? It's like, well, you got to get through your progressions really quickly, especially on the backside, or you have to get out of the huddle quickly enough so that the motions inform your decisions so that you can call in the next play.
Arif, they figured it out though. They had 10 days.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah.
they were breaking
Yeah.
the huddle at like 10 seconds again against LA. It's like, oh man, this might not be about the quarterbacks, huh? This might be bigger.
I'm just thinking, like, Ron, when you said like JJ was learning how to read, which I'm just gonna leave the sentence like that. It was like while Carson Wentz was out there, it was like he is getting demolished, and everyone's like in a huddle, they're doing like the big thumbs up meme, like whatever's going on there, Carson, you got it. All right, when you take a look at this play, JJ.
Right, he's like, hey, here's the tablet. Let's come over here. Look at this.
No,
He's still got 3 of his 4 limbs. He's fine. Okay, JJ. So
yeah, right. Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure he has one of these on the sideline, you know. So so when you get over there, you just, you know, oh, okay, Carson did that. All right, I'm good.
Right,
and then he toss it like Aaron Rodgers does whenever he's pissed off. But yeah, like it's
Vikings branded speak and spell. No, my question's on the other side of the ball. Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown have eviscerated the Brian Flores defense.
Yep.
Year in, year out, right?
Yep.
Like every time. How is it? Can they stop doing that? How do they get them to stop doing that?
So this was my Jordan Hicks question, right? I asked him. I said, coordinate, because he was in the defense for 2 years.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you would know.
Coordinators live and die by what they do, and that's the answer. Coordinate, like he's gonna live and die by pressure, right? And so that's forcing a couple guys to be, you know, and if the pressure doesn't get there, you're manned up. And Jared Goff is one of, like, I wish I could do 2 breakdowns, but you know, there's only so much time in the day. Because I did the Lions last year offense wise, and so probably the second time they play Lions, I'll probably do their offense next time. But I love the Jared Goff breakdowns because he does that. Like he is able to manipulate the defense with motions where he knows exactly what you're in, and then somehow Amon-Ra St. Brown has figured out the zone hole, quote unquote, where either Josh Metellus is going to void, but there's something there that he's figuring it out, because every time he finds that zone hole, and maybe there's like, look, we know we got this picked up, so you got time to work the middle of the field. And I think it comes down to pressure. Like it comes out, if you get to the quarterback so quick that he doesn't have time, then you could beat the Lions. But if Jared Goff is able to sit back and that Vikings, because I mean, he's sending 5 to 6 guys every time. If you're not getting there, then yeah, you're leaving your guys susceptible. Do you put Byron Murphy on Amon-Ra St. Brown and say, hey, look, you just follow him? That, I don't know if that's the answer, but I mean, have we tried that?
The disappointing thing about the last game last year is that the pressure actually worked in the first half, and you generated 2 turnovers as a result, and you didn't take advantage. And then he got wise to the pressure, and then he started finding his outlets, and then it got sloppy late. Ron, thank you for your contributions, and we'll talk to you after the Sunday noon game against Detroit on the post-game squad show. Can't wait for that, man.
It's gonna be some dead Lions on that field. Let's hope so. Or dead Lions. They're gonna kill the Lions.
Whoa.
No, they're not. Or Luke Brown's gonna go full tinfoil hat, and he's gonna be upset about
Lions are used a lot
plays.
in.
There'll be plenty of normal stuff to be upset about. I think. I don't think I need to go with
I don't know. This, I mean, we're gonna find out. This is probably the most exciting weekend for, I think, a lot of Vikings fans, because we get to find out if JJ McCarthy has learned anything, or is he still hurt? And Max Brosmer is going to trot out there in Detroit in the Motor City, and it's going to be Motor City Max. And then
I like that.
It was written.
Yeah. Oh,
Did
Max.
they play in the Motor City Bowl last year, Ron, or was it a different bowl game?
They played in
it's
Detroit
Mayo
a couple
Bowl.
times.
It was
They
the
played in
Duke's Mayo Bowl, and PJ got Mayo.
He got mailed on. Yep. And so
All right.
I think the year before that was the one with what's his name, because they didn't have a quarterback. Yeah, it was the year before because they didn't have a quarterback. Remember, they had to pay a third string quarterback NIL money to not graduate and retire, because he's like, I'm done for the season. They're like, man, we'll pay you. Like, come play for us. Give 10 grand, man. How much? All right, let's go.
That's right. All right, good stuff, Ron.
Appreciate
good insights. Thanks a lot. It's Ron Johnson at 3 Ron Johnson. Check out Jordan Hicks on his show on Tuesday. After the break, I'm going to tell you which center the Vikings will be trading for. Manifest. Let's make this a 4-minute drill. I want a trade possibility, something before the deadline that could happen involving the Minnesota Vikings. Let's run it.
Start the clock. It's time to execute the 4-minute drill.
Here's what I've got. You all told me on Monday that the Vikings needed to target a center at the deadline. A center. Ryan Kelly's concussion issues. Don't have a great backup. So this is what they will do. The Vikings will dangle a 4th or a 5th for a true Viking. The Great Dane, Yelda Froholt.
Oh, yes.
Arizona Cardinals.
Former Colt, Hilta Froholt. Interesting. Isn't he really tall for a center? Like an Ethan Posich type?
Yeah, he's huge.
Interesting
He's
matchup with Kyler Murray. That's a
Game of Thrones.
bit of an interesting roster building move there, Monty.
Yelta Froholt.
Realize that.
That's so good.
He has
it's like
played...
a week after Tua was like, it's kind of hard to see over these big guys, right? And meanwhile, Kyler Murray's like drowning over
like jumping over it like a kid trying to see over a fence to a baseball game. Like
this is precisely why. This is precisely why the Cardinals will want to move on, because it's just not conducive with the size of the quarterback. So they will give the Vikings Yelta Froholt for a mid-round pick. It is a very fair contract for the production that he's offered. He has played virtually every snap the last 3 years. He's played well. I don't know if he's all pro level, but he's played very well, very durable, still in his 20s. And he's signed for less than $7 million next year. So you have the next year solution as well. You have a quality center that can play. I think Ryan Kelly's got a very cuttable cap number if you want to move on from him. He might retire. This could be your 2026 solution. Froholt, my guy.
I like it.
I like it.
I dig it.
Yeah, I like it. I like what Luke brought up. I think it was last show. Quinnen Williams. I mean, the Jets have one win. You got a stud veteran defensive tackle that probably wants to play for a competitive team, right? Not waste his peak, his prime right now. Vikings, I mean, they got about 6-7 defensive tackles. Maybe that means you got none when you got that many.
Did you just drop a 6-7 on purpose?
6-7.
You just dropped
Last
that.
person
Purpose,
on this
but
panel I would
definitely
expect
in
to be tuned to that.
In that
actually,
subconscious,
yeah. Well, he does have kids, but there's no way they're old enough, right?
No, the young one, the second
Not old
grader,
enough to
just
be
pounds
online.
that all day, every day. But Quinnen would be a monster upgrade. Interior, both run support, but the pass rush department as well. When's the last time the Vikings have had a consistent interior pass rush? Maybe it's a 4th and a 5th, maybe it's a 3rd and a 5th, but whatever it is, I mean, the way Kwesi is drafted too, I'd rather have somebody proven than maybe throw another dart up on the board. Not sure how the money works out either. I'd have to look up a salary cap, but salary cap's fake anyway, so figure it out.
Yeah, the money's doable. Can I go the other way? Somebody that they're maybe going to get rid of here.
Yeah.
Don't say Naylor. Don't say Naylor.
It's not. But they do have a player who it feels like the contract was designed to get cut next offseason, unless he really showed out. He has not showed out. In fact, he's been fully benched for Jalen Redmond. Javon Hargrave, you're out of here. Whatever, 6-7 swap. That's it. You're out of here.
6-7. All right.
He played 18 snaps against the Los Angeles Chargers. 18 snaps. He is benched. He is as benched as Ivan Pace is, who also could be on his way out.
That would be interesting.
That should have signed and then traded him, not Harrison Phillips.
All right.
Yeah.
Sign and trade.
PHT with the correction that is accurate for Holt was not.
They rushed Eric Wilson a third of the time. What are we doing?
Eric Wilson has been weirdly productive. Very small sample.
They're rushing him off the edge against tackles. What are we doing?
Eric Wilson is the guy who's a former safety at Cincinnati, smaller linebacker than Ivan Pace, by the way. And we were like, yeah, he's a coverage only special teams guy, and that was proven true for years. And then he finally got pretty decent against the run, and now they're just rushing him off.
Blitzing 6, and it's 5 D tackles and Eric Wilson, and we wonder why the coverages aren't working. Help!
Anyway, PhD with the correction for Holt was not with the Colts. He was with the Patriots and the Browns previously. But I, in order to kind of cheat on the segment, I looked up, trade ideas, right, to see whose I could steal. And ESPN's list of Minnesota Vikings trade ideas was so catastrophically bad that I just had to steal one from a previous week of the show instead. Because they were like, the Vikings should trade for Kirk Cousins, which, like, what? Like, if you're going to trade for a quarterback, at least make it like Jameis. Like, what are you doing? Or an edge rusher. And I was just like, oh,
who the Falcons
Wait,
need
what?
right now. What are we doing?
What?
come on.
The starter is actively hurt. Why would they trade their backup right now? What's
I
happening?
was just so confused.
Come up with a new name. Ah!
Yeah. So lacking the fortitude to trade for a quarterback or an edge rusher, I've decided to trade for Reek Woolen.
Yes.
No,
Like
the Seahawks were. It sounded like thinking about trading him last year, and they didn't do it. But it sounds like he's probably going to be available. He's pretty toolsy. The Vikings just have like a size and speed mismatch in a lot of games, and he needs a lot of work. That's why he's on the trade block. But I think that there's just like a lot to work with there. That you've got and plus, I mean, like he does flash, right? Like there are like he's flashed way more than Okudah has, right? Like, I think that there's something there to work with, and if not, it's probably an upgrade anyway. Plus, if it's not an upgrade, you need depth. This is not a very good.
You need bodies back there at
depth-wise.
this
They have
point.
three
Yeah,
active
probably-
corners right now if Okudah doesn't play, which
Probably
they've already
shouldn't
done. It's
Traded. Yeah.
What are
probably
we
should have
doing, man?
traded the
Like-
one guy they traded away, but don't worry about it.
yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, it'd be a rental with Woolen rest of the year. Chance to, maybe if he doesn't, if you rent him and he plays a little bit and then they put Okudah back in, chance that you keep him in the organization next year, prove it deal, try to rebuild his worth. Wouldn't hate that. He's only 26. Let me ask you this. Someone reached out on Twitter, wanted us to have a discussion. We'll keep it quick, but who are the core pieces on this defense? Like, looking at future team building, they've bought into veterans in such a big way. What's the future? Right? Like, I don't think you can say Van Ginkel's the future. They've got him for another year after this. Grenard, core piece, yes, 2 more years. But like, what's the defensive core right now of this team that you can really circle?
Blake,
Kind of bleak.
Cashman.
Cam Bynum.
Yeah.
Kind of bleak.
Based on who's under contract, it's Grenard, Metellus, and then I would say Byron Murphy are probably like the
have
core pieces there.
Wait,
Yeah.
is the Cashman contract not that much longer down the road? Is
One
he-
more
I think it
year.
expires
After this.
after. Yeah, it expires in 2026, but he could very much be like, I could definitely see
They
that
gotta
extended
fix
a little
that.
bit. Yeah, I could see them fixing that.
That's a
They
priority.
wouldn't do it. They probably wouldn't do it until this offseason, but I could see that being a move that happens, or even just like a restructure of sorts or a small thing. But yeah, it's pretty. I think there's a lot of turnover to come, probably because you don't have any draft picks that work.
You're the second oldest defense in the league entering the season. Of course,
That's
it's
what
gonna-
happens.
Yeah,
Like, you
Almost like
could have gotten
exactly-
excited about Dallas Turner, but I don't think you're elated about the 2 more years rookie contract with Dallas Turner. Like, that
yeah.
isn't.
He'll be around in
really
2027. It's what's
Yeah,
a matter
he'll
of
be a piece.
yeah.
I think they could probably squeeze 3 more years out of Harrison Smith.
Yeah.
It's time,
And that's
man.
long enough
That
for
was rough
Theo
against
Jackson
the
to learn
Chargers.
just enough
It's
from
been
him that Theo
Man.
Jackson can be.
Watching that Chargers game, I felt like I was putting a blindfold on a horse, man. It's time. It's over, Harry. I'm sorry. He was so
Glue factory, huh?
slow.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
It's time for a farm upstate, dude.
I mean, he might have an airplane hangar upstate. Like, it's fine.
It's just another identical like wooden gym. Exact replica like what they do in presidential libraries.
All right, man. Play here. It's the same. Don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry about it.
Yeah. No, there's a team
FanDuel
in Duluth,
bets.
trust me. Storied history.
Week 9, FanDuel. This is where we stand. It's bad for me. Luke Braun has hit 4 bets in a row and has
God.
ballooned to $3,000. He's 9-7 on the year. We started with 1,000.
What a funny bid. I'll bet on the
money.
Vikings to underperform.
Yeah,
F you, dude.
boy. God, I'm not
got
happy
the
about
nick.
it either.
Arif's in second. He is 1,600 behind. He is 9-7 as well. His bets just haven't been as profitable. Luke Inman is 5-11. He is
Not bad.
minus $450 ish, and I am also 5-11. I've bet bigger. I've lost bigger. I am minus 1,700, a full almost $5,000 behind our leader Luke Braun. So I'm changing strategies this week, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm going last. Inman first. Arif,
we're really gonna spike you. That's you got it, man.
Yeah.
I
know
know you guys want to tail me.
And honestly,
Arif
if
with
one of us
0
spikes you,
maxes
it's so
left.
impressive.
Yeah, that was the whole idea. I wanted
That
to
was
get rid
the
of
idea.
maxes as soon
Yeah.
as possible.
I like it. Yeah, we got to get serious here, Sam. Time to turn it on. Flip the switch.
Here we go.
I'm just going to try to keep this as simple as possible. Jahmyr Gibbs over 74.5 rushing yards, minus 114. I think we got to go max bet here. What's the window? Max bet 630 to 900. Let's go $777 on Jahmyr Gibbs.
Nice.
777.
Lucky sevens, dude.
The slot machine comes up with the jackpot.
Because that always
was
works.
Lucky
That always
74.5.
7.
All right. Arif.
Amon-Ra St. Brown to record 25 plus receiving yards in each half. The min medium, whatever what are our ranges?
Middle medium, so 500.
What? No, min medium, so 360. Right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant like middle. Okay, 360.
Yeah.
360 on Amon-Ra, 25 in each chat. Or the odds?
Plus 110.
Plus money. Luke Braun.
What are the limits for like how short the odds can be? We have like a limit on that, right? Is it
Minus
150?
200.
Minus 200?
Yeah.
Okay. Considering the lead and that I still have some max bets, I'm going to try to burn those safely. And the safest thing that I can do right now is for the Vikings to be bad in the first half. So I'm just going to kind of keep rolling on that. Lions alt spread minus 3.5 at minus 180.
Right on
First
the line there.
First half. Okay.
First half minus 3.5. And that is as far as I can push it, minus 180. And I will do a max bet, but the smallest max possible.
630.
We'll do that.
All right. My new strategy is I'm going to try to bet less, win more with some parlays. So I've got 2 straight parlays to give you. Jordan Mason, 37.5 rushing yards, taking the over. The Vikings are they're going to try to protect JJ McCarthy by running the ball. I'm going to couple that with Jared Goff having the most passing yards in the game. I'm going to put 600 on it at plus 174 on the combined odds. 600 there. Then another 600 on the following parlay. JJ McCarthy under 21.5 rushing yards, because there's going to be something mental. He's not going to want to do it. And then Jahmyr Gibbs with the anytime touchdown, giving us plus 172 on the parlay, plus 172. And if those both hit, pays something like $2,000 and gets me back in the black, baby.
I can't wait to read the email that has all these bets so I can understand what's going on.
Yeah, I barely
We're going
know.
so deep. We're showing
Just
the
kind of got to
depth
zone out there for a little bit.
America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel. We're new customers.
And we're also
can bet $5
demonstrating-
and get $300.
We're also demonstrating that when you're in a hole, it's time for some parlays.
Yeah, right. Just chase your losses.
Slots
That's the
gets
best
it.
advice we can give. Kurt Warner, shut up.
Don't worry about it. Luke, it's your turn, right? Braun?
Yeah.
Oh, it's back
Braun.
to me. I'm also going to go for an Amon-Ra St. Brown. I am going to go for a similarly conservative alt line at the same small max bet. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 70 or more yards, which is at minus 152.
All right. That's another 630. Arif.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson over 73.5, minus 114, another $360 bet. I think he probably would have hit that in the first Chicago game if Jefferson had played better. Like, we talk about McCarthy a lot, but Jefferson played real bad in that game.
Mm-hmm. The
Correct.
Lions always let
2
Jefferson
drops.
pop off. I thought about
Yeah.
that one too.
Yeah.
They never like worry about it. They just cover everybody else and say, yeah, you can have your 100 yards. It'll be your only 100 passing yards. And it kind of works every time.
Great. Good for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Aaron Jones over 13.5 reception yards, minus 114. JJ's back. He likes that Aaron Jones wheel route, as we know. Give me a medium, Sam. What's the
We
window?
do
on the
know
medium?
that, actually. That's kind of stupid.
You want to?
We
I'm
see a
not
similar
last.
game plan to the
I'm not
Steelers because of like
last.
TJ Watt and like they're trying to spread
He's gonna have to
everybody
get that ball
look
out
empty.
quick. He's gonna have happy feet. Where's Jones?
Like,
Where's the dump
Xavier
off?
Scott ran so many routes in that game, and it probably should have.
So many.
It probably would have been Aaron Jones if he was healthy. So
Give me an even
there's
500,
like
Sam.
a
Medium.
path
Okay.
to this.
Bets are locked. Check out FanDuel, bet 5, get 300. Great show today, guys. Thank you for commenting, everyone. Thank you for subscribing, getting the Locked On Vikings YouTube channel to 10,000 subscribers. Thanks for listening to Luke Braun, and thanks for listening to us. We appreciate that. Back after the game on Sunday, about 3 p.m. Central. We'll be here. We'll be live. Ron Johnson, Luke Braun, Luke Inman, myself, reacting to Vikings-Lions. Can't wait. Should be a good game, and we will talk to you soon.